Mind over matter, overcompensating, overstatements, crookedness relating, the soul's churn in return, mental overstimulation, one word, riveting, it tethers my pilot, streams that are promised to make seeking less. Greetings, Anastasia. Thanks so much for giving me some of your time. I appreciate you coming on. Welcome to Poetry Journal Podcast.
Thank you so much. Happy to be here.
Absolutely, absolutely. So you're an author, poet, and practitioner of holistic healing.
That is correct.
Could you give us a little breakdown briefly of those things, especially about specifically your poetry? I'm sure everybody would like to hear about that. And you're an author as well. Could you give us a little?
Absolutely. Yeah, so I published my first poetry book in 2022. It's called Ocean. And in my book, I talk about the pain and the trauma that I have endured. And then I also talk about the in-between stages where things aren't bad, but they're not good. I'm kind of just going through my healing journey. And then I finalized my book at a place of love because I realized that my readers might be going through pain and trauma themselves.
Yes.
So if I can let them end at a place of love, then I know that their souls are at peace. So the last part of my poetry book is all things love. Love for self, love for others, love for your partner if you're in a relationship. So it's just, I really embody all of the human emotions, and I call it my book of waves. So kind of ocean theme there.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. That's beautiful. I really like the title, Oceans.
Thank you.
I think it's very fitting, especially for poetry. It sounds to me that you're okay. Let's I don't want to go. We will get into that for sure. Yes. So you're is that the main thing that you write about? You published poetry. That's pretty much the gist of it. Or do you create stories as well?
I would like to write stories eventually. I do kind of have some type of story in my mind, but that is kind of on the back burner because right now I'm working on my second poetry book, and I would like for that to be finished by the end of this year and hopefully published sometime next year. So yeah, mainly poetry, but I probably will dabble in writing a novel one day too.
Interesting. I look forward to that. I'm sure it's gonna be definitely something intriguing. Everything new is always a beautiful thing, especially when it comes to creativity. So
Yeah.
definitely something for the books for the future, of course.
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to read something, and then I want to break some more things down with you.
Okay.
As you know, I always bring something to the table. So this is just something I like to share with my listeners.
Okay.
Just give me a minute. Some reason thing just went a little bit disarray.
Okay.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay.
What is life to be if not for the right to write, the need to express what have been seen? In the concise, even in a mess, the friendly test is one that I can undress, asking questions but never surprised if my chapters come with answers, devising the rights of charter. Thus I hired myself, telling of the wealth in time prophecies of the sixth sense. For these times have me rived in the ponderings of the bird flocking kind, forever inspired by freedom. Thus they leave word feathers behind, dreaming of the creature that speak of my ability to try.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I have to share with you today. Just a little
Well,
quote.
thanks for sharing. Yeah, I love that a lot. And I love the rhythm and the flow. Like that was great.
Thank you. I'm glad you enjoy it. I really I actually thought this fit this discussion I really wanted to have today, and just I took some time to read your bio and just what you're about, and that I was really it was really inspiring to see you're on your own journey as an artist, and I think that's a beautiful thing. So I really just wanted to kind of just have you speak on your experiences in either way,
Yeah.
how way we go about it per se.
Yeah, absolutely.
um the first thing I would ask is, I get the impression that you've been writing for a long time. Is that correct?
Yeah, I've been writing since grade school, actually. I think maybe third, fourth, fifth grade, somewhere around there. I can't remember the exact time frame, but definitely at a young age, I've been writing.
That's a beautiful thing. Oh, okay, so I would imagine this question is quite relevant. Is there a specific method to your creativity at this point in your your journey?
Yeah, I think more than anything, I just want to get people thinking. I want to get people feeling, flowing through their emotions. Because I feel like I meet lots of people and they kind of fall on different sides of the scale. I meet people who are not in tune with their feelings and emotions. And then I meet people who are like me, who are very sensitive and very in tune, in touch with their feelings and emotions. So my poetry caters to both types of people. It gets the deep feelers flowing through their emotions in healthy ways. And
Yes.
then my poetry gets the people who aren't in tune with their body and their emotions to get them thinking and feeling and showing them that it is safe to feel. So, really, my driving force is to just be that transitional guide for people
Yeah.
to know that with poetry, you're safe to feel.
That's that's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful way to kind of go about it. Um, so at this point, it sounds to me like you're really big on giving back. Is there a specific
Yeah.
reason behind that?
I think growing up, I just know what it feels like to like either be without or not be understood or just kind of feel alone. So this is my way of reaching out to those people who maybe have felt the same as me, who feel alone, who feel like they don't have anyone, or maybe they are misunderstood. So it's my way of reaching those people just so that they know that they aren't alone.
Yes, yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the. I think I resonate with that statement because as a creator, you want to know that um, it's almost like this. You have. I'll give an analogy. You have carers per se, like, or nurses, for example. And one of the big things that you notice, that people that care for other people, they have a tendency, I would say, to almost not care for themselves.
Yeah.
And so in this instance, what we're speaking about, you have someone like yourself that not only cater for oneself, but you cater for other ones, for other people. And what I mean by that is, it's almost like what we do, or creators as we are, it's almost like being the nurse,
Yeah.
where we actually, and you have other nurses or other creators catering for not only people that can't maybe express in the way we do, to almost add relief or a sense of catharticism to their situation. But we also
Yeah.
cater to ourselves and each other within this communal, no matter how big or small it is, it's quite communal. I think, or the way I see it or experience it, is quite a communal thing. To speak to another creator, there is so many commonalities and the anticipation, but not only that, the awareness of such, because we take so much time to almost be in tune with those type of frequencies that comes with doing what we do. And so it's almost like there's a level of understanding, whether
Yeah.
across the board, I would say, I would say, because whether you're a painter, whether you're a musician, whether you're a wordsmith, like me and you, is there's a certain commonality in terms of like the expression. Now, of course, we come from different places. We have different terminology. The sense of expression comes from it's different, somewhat unique in a sense, but we all have something. We all trying to express very similar things, don't you think?
Yeah, I agree. And I think too, whenever we show up and we show people that it's okay to be vulnerable and, show them that they can show up as themselves too, no matter what you went through, you don't have to be afraid, because with poetry, we talk about the things, the inexpressible things sometimes, and we tap into the parts of people that they don't really share with the world. So then when we show up and we're authentic and we show other people that it's safe to do so as well, it's safe to be expressive and it's safe to share your story, then we're like healing the world pretty much, if you think about it. If we start helping others to tap into their potential, their healing capabilities, start sharing their stories, then we get the world thinking at a deeper level. We get the world spinning in a direction where everybody's healing, and we're breaking down the barriers, and we have safe places to do that. So that's why I really like poetry, because we offer that to the world, and we offer safe communal places for people to show up and just be expressive, be you, be free.
Mm. Yes, indeed, we sure do. There's something beautiful about that as well. Definitely. I don't
Mhm.
think you had a chance to really speak about. I don't think I've asked about the Reiki, um, the Reiki practice
Yeah.
that you do. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I'm a Reiki practitioner, and Reiki is just energy healing. And so a person will come to me and they might have like physical pain, or they might have troubles connecting with themselves and the world spiritually. Whatever it is that they're struggling with, Reiki can help. And they'll just lie down on a table, or they will be seated down sometimes, and I will just place my hands on them, whether it be their shoulders, their arms, their legs, and I'll kind of just work around their body, and I channel the universal life force energy. And that's all I am, is just a channel. So I take that energy
Yeah.
that is surrounding us all, I channel it through me and onto the client. And that energy is healing, it's soothing, it's calming. If someone comes to me with an anxious state of mind, they will probably and most likely feel very calm after a session with me. But each person's experience is different too. So some people might feel calm. Some people leave after a session and they feel very fueled, like they're ready to go run a marathon.
That's interesting. Um,
Yeah.
I also want to ask, what 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 does Reiki healing and poetry have in common, in your opinion, being an expert as you are?
Yeah, I think that they're both very healing. So when I think about Reiki, I think about people bringing people peace. And sometimes the feedback that I get on my poetry is like after they read a poem, they say, well, that brought me peace. So, in a different way, whether I'm laying my hands on someone or I'm speaking to them with my poetry and my words, I'm still bringing them peace. And so I believe that, they embody each other. I
Yes.
could do Reiki and recite poetry, and I feel like that would be double the peace. But in their own ways, they both just bring people peace and they bring people calm. And it is just a safe place again. Reiki is safe. There's nothing dangerous about practicing Reiki, and there obviously is nothing dangerous about reading and reciting poetry either. So I feel like they just both go hand in hand.
Mm, yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Um, that's very interesting. I've never had a chance
Yeah.
to really try it myself, Reiki healing, but I am aware of it, but just never had the chance to. So I'm very curious about what you had to say.
Yeah, you definitely should try it if you know someone that does Reiki, I would definitely try it, but also just be very selective with who you choose. Make sure that they feel good to you. Anybody could do Reiki, but sometimes, your energy and the energy of someone else just might not be a match, and that's okay. So just always, listen to your body and see how you feel when you meet someone that does practice Reiki. And if you feel good, if it feels safe, if your body feels calm, then
Yes.
I would say it's good to go and try it. If not, that doesn't mean it's a bad that could treat you better. So
Yeah.
don't be alarmed if you find someone and you guys just aren't meshing, like your energies just don't match. That's okay. That just means there's somebody else out there better for you.
So you think there's a certain frequency at play, almost like interluding, synchronicity, between.
Yeah, because yeah, I feel like too, like we might not get along with every single person we meet. Sometimes it's just not natural.
Mm,
There might be somebody that we just don't get along with, or our energy just doesn't mesh, or you might think there's just something about that person. I can't get through to them, and that's normal because we all vibrate at different frequencies. We all have our different stories and our different pain. And sometimes we just don't click, we just don't match. Doesn't mean they're a bad person, it doesn't mean you're a bad person.
yeah.
It just means you guys are on totally different pages, different chapters, and that's okay.
True. That's a big point you said. It's where you are in life. It's what resonates with you. Um,
Yeah.
it's how do we relate, or do we relate on the same things?
Mhm.
Yes, I'm very big on frequencies for sure. And so what you're speaking about, I think make a lot of sense. Uh,
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to something as healing, where healing is concerned, frequency is definitely um, it's,
Yeah.
it's of great relevance, I would say, to making somebody's life or their situation better in any aspect. Because at the end of the day, I also get the sense, in terms of like what we're speaking about, specifically Reiki, it's almost like, for you to kind of help somebody have to almost be open to be helped. You know what I mean? Be open to the idea. Um, in essence, opening that door for you so you can come inside and actually perform that purpose that you're there for, that you're supposed to be helping with, in a sense. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Because I think when I do like my healing sessions, the the person that comes and sees me is always in control. So I can't make them do anything that they wouldn't feel comfortable doing. It has to be all in their hands. I am really just the person that is there to help, to assist, to guide. But really, my job is to help them tap into their own healing. So if they come to me and they tell me that they're ready, then I'm going to show them how they can do it without me. Because really that's what my job is. I don't want people to have to depend on me.
Yes.
I want them to know that even after a session, you can still do your healing, you can work on yourself. I think a lot of people had it confused when they would come and see me. They would say something, they would text me or email me and say, "Oh my gosh, something happened. I need to come in and see you as soon as possible." And that's not a bad thing. I want people to be able to come and see me. But if something were to happen to me or anything, like I would want them to know that they have the power within them already. I'm just there to help them and guide them. So, yeah, when people come and see me and they want a healing session, that is part of them that's saying, "Hey, I'm opening myself up. I'm being vulnerable here. I'm ready to start my healing journey. I don't know what that looks like, but I'm ready." And that's a big step. It's not going to be perfect or it may not even be pretty, but if you're doing your healing journey, that's the most important. Saying yes to your healing journey, like you've already done the hard part.
It's interesting. From what you said, I get this impression. Obviously, I'm going off on a limb here, but is there a DIY version of healing pertaining to Reiki that we're speaking about?
Mm, Not that I know of, but I would say, you can do a lot of self-healing with just your thoughts only, because your thoughts carry powerful intentions and powerful energy. So if you're not feeling the best, if you continue to say, "Well, I'm not feeling well, I'm not feeling well," then that is what your body is going to experience.
Yes.
Now, if you say, "I'm not feeling well," you're accepting that, but you're also saying, "But my body is healing," or "My body is taking care of me. My body is fighting off this illness. My body knows what to do." Then you'll notice gradually that your body is getting better. Your body does know what to do. And so you can do a lot of your healing yourself by just using the power of your thoughts. So you don't need any tools, you don't need to spend any money. You can just use your thoughts. Very, very powerful to use your thoughts.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, yeah, definitely. Obviously, you're a poet yourself. Um, I wanted to kind of almost give you I wanted to give you the chance in case you wanted to maybe share something with my audience that you've created. Maybe you have a poem or something that you wanted to share, you wanted to read.
Sure. Yeah, I have a poem here that I wrote, and it's basically just talking about what it means to be a poet. So I wrote it in hopes that other poets would kind of read it and be able to resonate with that and be like, "Oh yeah, me too," or "I experienced that too." So basically, it's called "What It's Like to Be a Poet," and it says, "To be a poet means when your world is falling apart, you can paint the picture of God who traces your wounds in love and dress it so beautifully with words. To be a poet, we tap into the silent language of a soul, giving tears a voice of their own to share, shining light on shadows and speaking into voids. To be a poet means to be someone that is real, as true and pure and real as the emotions that arise within us. Poetry rips open, it seals with a kiss, it calms and soothes, it's healing in action. To be a poet, we are able to come home and give space for others to do the same. A reflection of safety, wrapped with words that hug and hold. To be a poet means speaking of tales of peace and creating that peace that changes the world. Poetry floods in hearts, it shines on the broken, it protects, it's falling in love. Poetry is felt without touch, it caresses the heart like air flowing through the body. To be a poet means I am the air in my body, caressing my own heart and touching my own soul. Poetry is a necessity, for I have been born due to its existence. The end.
That's beautiful, man. That's pretty powerful.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Definitely. There's a lot of profound things in there. One thing that stood out to me was you said about the poetry rips open and seals with a kiss. That was very powerful.
Thank you.
Especially coming from a woman, I think that's very powerful, you know?
Yeah. Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Definitely. Yeah, I really like your take on that. One thing, okay, I wanted to ask you this. Just after hearing, the beautiful piece that you just wrote, if I ask you to sum up where you are in your creative journey, what would you say?
I would say I'm at a place where I have taken the things that have happened to me and I've transformed. And now I'm at a place where I'm taking that same energy that I used to heal myself and I'm using it to create the life that I dream of. I'm using it to empower, to inspire, to uplift, to encourage. I would say that my creative journey now is just creating movement and offering people a place where they no longer have to be afraid of change, because change is really good. It's great for the soul. So my creative journey right now is just flowing with change. It's just being wherever I need to be and experiencing it and then learning from it and then continuing on.
Definitely. Very interesting.
Thank you.
Is there anything that you wanted to promote? You wanted to kind of let people know that's, that you've created and it's out there to for them to go find?
Sure. Yeah, my book Ocean that I spoke about at the beginning. It's a poetry book, Ocean. It's available on Amazon by Anastasia Lindsey. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, that's where I post most of my poems. And it's Anna Marie Poetry. That's ANA Marie, MARIE Poetry. So yeah, I would love to reach out to people, talk about poetry, share poems. All of that is super exciting to me.
Beautiful. Definitely, and of course, I'll leave a link with all your details when I do share this episode that we've created with people, so they can find you. And of course, I'll look to find you myself. Do you get the chance to have you had the chance to do any audio, or do you go out and share your work on a more oral level?
Yeah, so I have started to kind of record my poems, like create a video, and I'll have like my poem in the background. I definitely have tried to do that lately, because most of the time I just post a poem and that's it. But I realized after doing podcast interviews and speaking engagements that a lot of people told me I need to start utilizing my voice, that it's actually very perfect for poetry. So now my goal is to start getting out there more and using my voice to record my poems.
Absolutely. I would second or third or whatever the case may be, that for sure. Yeah, I would encourage that. definitely get
Thank you.
you know, I think it's a beautiful thing. You sound like you have a beautiful soul as well, and I can hear that through the poetry. So definitely keep going. You know, this
Thank
is
you.
it's a journey, it's a path. You know, and no matter where you are in life, what your situation is, you should always try to embrace this part. You know, creating is healing. You know, and I think there's power in that. So I would say, you know, always try to enrich that part of yourself, or, you know, maintain that richness that you have, because there's power in you, and you never know when you might need that type of energy. That will.
Yeah. Yeah, well, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Um, yes, absolutely, absolutely, and it was great speaking with you. Thank you again for giving me your time. Um, I know we were kind of, you know, in 2 months trying to get this time right, you know, because we
I
were
know it's
time zones.
yeah, it's different when not only are you in different time zones, but like hours behind or ahead of each other. So I'm glad that it worked out. I appreciate your time. I value your time. And I'm very thankful for having this episode with you tonight.
Absolutely, it was a pleasure, Anastasia. Thank you for coming on, and we'll be in touch. But for now,
Okay.
take care. Speak soon.
Thank you. You too.
Take care.
Bye.
Mind over matter, overcompensating, overstatements, crookedness relating, the soul's churn in return, mental overstimulation, one word, riveting, it terrors my pilot. Streams that are promised to make seeking less,